Hello everyone, welcome to my video. I'm going to start off today by talking about the materials I used to make this drawing. And so the first material I used was these Prismacolor colored pencils. I think I bought the 72 pack. And then just some various different paintbrushes I picked up from my local art store. A uniball-signo white gel pen. And this kneaded eraser. I love this thing. Very useful. And then this Pentel 0.7mm mechanical pencil. This is my favorite pencil. And then I just keep my pencil sharpener in this Altoids box. I don't know, it's super handy. Then this is some solvent that I use to blend my color pencil drawings. This isn't a super dirty jar. I recommend putting it in a cleaner jar, but that's Gamsol by Gamblin. And then I'm using this pentalic mixed media sketchbook. Yeah, I really like the paper in this sketchbook. I really recommend it. So I'm starting out my drawing by just blocking in my guidelines. You can kind of see like my process, how I kind of do this. Yeah, I usually start out all of my drawings like this. I just draw a circle and then draw the rest of it. I can do another video going more in depth if you guys would like. Another part of my process is when I finish the pencil drawing, I usually go in with my kneaded eraser and I lighten the entire drawing. You'll see me do this in a little bit, but yeah, it just makes it so that the colored pencil and everything doesn't blend. So you can see me starting right now. Usually like people freak out when I do this. They're like, no, you're erasing the entire drawing, ah! And I'm like, no. It's okay, I can still see the drawing. It's not totally erased, but it's just mostly erased. So yeah, you don't want to erase the whole drawing, just lighten it, Now I'm starting in with my colored pencils. I'm just doing like really light skin color and just blocking in some colors lightly. I keep the pressure like really light right here, so it doesn't really matter if it's super patchy looking because I'm going to blend it out later. And then right here is where I start blending with some solvent and a paintbrush. So yeah, I recommend using a thicker paper if you're going to be doing solvent blending, because if it's thinner, like not very good quality paper, it might like wreck the paper or tear it up. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't really used it on thinner paper, but I imagine it would. I don't know. But yeah, it makes the color pencil kind of like watercolor. I learned this technique recently actually, and I've had a lot of fun experimenting with it. This isn't actually my normal process of how I create a drawing. This is actually kind of an experimental piece. I didn't really know how it was going to turn out. I was kind of nervous actually. But yeah, and then I'm just adding in, like after I blend out that first layer, I added in more colors over top. You gotta wait for it to dry for a little bit. And then you can just layer more colored pencil over top. And then, yeah. So I did some shadows, some eyeshadow, little candy corns on her cheeks and everything. It's all about gradual build-up. But yeah, it's super satisfying to blend out with the solvent. I really enjoy it. Usually my usual process is on toned paper, where I use marker to do this part instead. But I don't know, I think it's really good to experiment to see what you like. Yeah, because you could find something that you really love that you wouldn't have found if you hadn't experimented, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, for sure, like I'm really glad that I experiment, because I found so many cool mediums to use. Like this last year I started using alcohol markers and I really like those. I used to actually only paint in acrylic paint, and then I found oil paint, and I just love oil paint. But I highly recommend trying like all the mediums that you can, honestly, because it could be like super beneficial for you. You could find something that you really love, and then that ends up being like your thing, you know? So right here I'm starting in coloring the eyes, and some people have asked me why I don't put pupils in my eyes, like black pupils, and to be honest, I don't really have an answer other than like this really simple one, and it's just I really like color in the eyes. I just want to have more color in the eyes. And so I'm like, I guess my logic behind this is that if you take out the pupil, then you have more room for color, right? So I just fill the whole eye with color. Yeah, I just love putting so much color in the eyes and putting all kinds of different things in the eyes sometimes. And I don't know, it's just fascinating to me. Some people think it's creepy, but I guess, I mean, if you want to think why it's creepy, you can do that. That's okay. Not everybody's gonna like my art. Yeah, I've already accepted that, but yeah, I definitely encourage people to try different things with their art, even if it seems like it's weird. I remember when I first did this, I was like, I wonder what an eyeball would look like with all color and no pupil, and I tried it out and I just loved it. I loved it so much, and yeah, I don't know, sometimes I draw pupils, but it's like a slightly darker color. It's never black, usually. I usually like to have a bunch of color in there. So yeah, you can see I'm still layering colors. We're getting closer to the end here. But yeah, this is when I start finishing up. The problem with this method that I found was, so if you add too many layers of color pencil and too many layers of the solvent, then it can start to blend not very smoothly. It can start to blend kind of patchy, and so at that point you probably want to stop using the solvent and then just use layers of color pencil and a blender pencil, like a clear blender pencil instead. That's what I found to fix that problem. But yeah, I mean, other than that, it was pretty nice making the drawing with solvent on. It's kind of weird using white paper because I've been using toned paper for so long. It took a little bit of getting used to, but I think I will be making more drawings on white paper. So there is another question that I got that I wanted to address, and it was pretty much how to deal with like discouragement, depression, low self-esteem, art block, all that stuff, all that negative stuff. And honestly, what I found is usually when that happens to me is I need to take a little tiny break, and then I need to just try and force myself to make something, make anything. I usually do a bunch of sketches in my sketchbook when I'm feeling like that, when I'm feeling down about my art and stuff, and I just go crazy. Like, I don't limit myself. I don't think, oh, that's gonna look weird. I just draw all kinds of stuff. in a sketchbook, and so there's like no pressure for it to look good. And honestly, I find that usually will spark up some inspiration and make me feel better about my art again. So I hope that helps. You can see that I added some white highlights on her eyes, and I used that Uniball white gel pen. I love that gel pen. I always use it for that. People always ask how I get my shinies, and that's the pen I use. I love it. But yeah, that's it. Here's the finished drawing. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope I could help you out, teach you something maybe. If you want to see more videos like this, like and subscribe. And yeah, thanks for watching.